talk to y'all while I'm doing my hair, y'all. Okay, about the new wealth. So we'll wait till we get a few more people in here. I decided to talk to y'all while I'm taking care of business. So the new wealth, y'all. Once again, we'll wait till we get more people in here before we get started. And I'll explain to y'all why these are the new forms of wealth, the type of wealth that the Creator's given us. Okay? So I'll wait till we get more people in here, and then we're going to get started as I prep my hair. The word prep is a part of wealth now. But we'll get into that. Okay, the new wealth, y'all. These are the new forms of wealth. The first kind of wealth is preparation. Okay, that's what the Creator told me. All right. When you're skilled in something, you're already kind of like hung free 90%, but it's that 10% that keeps it locked. And that 10% is the preparation. So you have to have balance. Like you have to have, for wealth, you have to have as much commitment to the preparation process as the skill set. We're living in a time period where people are obsessed with being skilled at doing something. They are obsessed with the mental skills they're getting on YouTube for free, but they're not prepared. Okay? And so what ends up happening is people are running their energy down not being prepared. So the new wealth is actually glamorizing preparation. I know that's deep, but it means being practical. The new wealth is practical. It's not practical to base your success on some sort of gambling energy. Okay? It's not practical to use a gambling resource as your primary energy, a primary profit business. The new wealth is actually applying a practical mindset to it. We are living in a world where people are just quitting their jobs and saying, I guess I'll just go ahead and see if I could just gamble to get some money. That's not practical. That's not the wealth. The new wealth is being practical. Being practical is saying I will save up enough money on my 9 to 5 job to start my new business. I'm not just going to quit my job. That was not practical. That so many people just quit their jobs to go do something that is very unpredictable. It's not practical to try to make money to depend so much on making money in something that you have no control over. That's not practical. So the new wealth is being practical. Like, for example, you can have a diet plan, but if you got other diet food in your kitchen, then that's not practical. So you would have to have your kitchen to only have the food for your diet plan. See, that would be practical thinking. That would be thinking with the chess, a chess type of mindset, where the pieces are on the board are the best of the best. Everything else got to go immediately. Okay, immediately. Trimming your life down to the best of the best that works in your favor. That's the new wealth now. Just because you can do so many different things because you're not working a 9 to 5 job don't mean you can. You still have to trim everything down to the best of the best that you could do. See, that's the new wealth. That being smart about your freedom, being wise in how you use your freedom to make money. The other new wealth is being excited about sharing the load. Okay? Not always because you know you can get money. We're living in a world where people are becoming obsessed with getting money. But what they don't know is that blessings come to you when you are just sharing the load, when you just have compassion of helping people, when it's not always attached to money. So the new wealth is finding a way to give compassion every single day, not just certain days of the week. Some people will only do charity work on Fridays or Sundays, and all week long they just me, myself, and I. See what I'm saying? But people need help every day. The same amount of people that needed help on the weekend need help every day. So the point is, the new wealth is, how can you have compassion for those that you normally don't have compassion for. So, for example, if you always have compassion for your own family and your own race and your own gender, then that's not the new wealth. The new wealth is having compassion for that is in contrast of you. It's easy to have compassion for people that you've always had compassion for. But when you have compassion for people that is doing things in a different way that you're doing it, and they got their own different struggles and their way of doing it, but you can still give compassion. So, for example, Christians giving compassion for non-traditional spiritual people, non-spiritual people giving compassion for Christians. It not just like Christian compassion to Christians, Christian compassion to fallen Christians, not just that type of compassion. Okay, willing to give compassion for those who may not have the same religion or same body weight as you, or the same financial goals. You still give compassion, and that's very hard for people to do, because people are like, I give compassion to people that's obsessed with grinding. I'm obsessed with grinding, so I give compassion for people that's obsessed with grinding. I am a man, so I give compassion to other men. I'm a woman, so I just give compassion to other women. That's not the new wealth. The new wealth is how far you can extend your compassion, no matter if if the people are somehow connected in who they are, connected to your previous trauma. So can you give compassion to middle-aged women if you're a young dude? Can you still give compassion to them? Can you still give compassion if you're a young woman? Can you still give compassion to aging women? Aging women, can you still give compassion to your aging man? Aging women, can you still give compassion to other aging women? The point is, that is the new wealth now. That is stepping out of the familiarity of your compassion. Okay, getting out of the comfort zone of what you was so comfortable in giving compassion. For example, I am giving lots of compassion to people who are just starting their writing journey. Even if they haven't started taking classes, who am I to judge that they still afraid to go to school? I still have to give compassion. Because at least they're 1 foot into doing writing. We're living in a society where it's like this energy of being pushers is keeping people from giving compassion, and compassion is the way to wealth. Okay? All right. It doesn't mean you got to cater to trauma dumpers. It means that you need to just, you can have silent compassion within yourself about the fact that they can't get beyond the trauma dumping. I still have compassion that they can't get beyond that. So compassion, and here's the other thing. Here's the third thing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this argan oil in my hair as I'm talking the third thing. Succeeding at the bare minimum work. I know with the grinding culture, it's glamorized with doing more, going longer. You're not a pro if you quit early, all this other stuff. But really, if you glamorize if you glamorize inching your way forward, that's the new wealth. Okay? Being unstoppable, not pushing through, being comfortably, peacefully unstoppable. So, what I have decided to do with my family, I told them, like, don't try to push through. If you can't do it by yourself, do a little bit of what you can do and get somebody else to do the rest. So, getting somebody else to do the rest is the new wealth. A lot of people are saying, I don't need nobody, me, myself, and I can do this all by myself. Actually, no, you can't. Okay? You can't do it in peace. You can't do it without approaching burnout. So the new wealth is glamorizing, asking for help, opening your mouth and telling your family members, I need your help with this, and I need help, I need this. Okay? But like, even if you got a YouTube, I need donations. My profits ain't good. Like, keep it real. Okay, the new wealth is not faking it. No faking it like you rich. No fake jewelry like you're rich. Just keep it real. Okay, real will get real. Real get extra. Real get respect. Real get abundance. Keep it real. I don't know what I'm doing. I have imposter syndrome because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to lie. I'm trying to act like I'm trying to act like the cosmos is just not in my favor, when really I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm talking to like new writers. Admit that you don't know what you're doing. Keep it real. Go get some help. Oh, thank you, Antonella. I found out I didn't know what I was doing with my damn hair. And I had to sit down and I had to research into my culture and really find out what's going on. And I found out that I wasn't using the ingredients that I needed to use to protect my hair from breakage. So softening the hair first, not using products to soften the hair, not using a cream to soften the hair. You actually have to like, I realized recently that I gotta oil my hair. I know that sounds crazy, but there's oils that are meant specifically for your hair. They're not cooking oils. Argan oil is not really a cooking oil. It's a hair softening oil. Okay? And so I started using Moroccan argan oil. It came to me yesterday as a download when a Nigerian woman said that she's from that she grew up on the islands. And I was like, you know what? Why do I keep hearing island? I heard island like 3 times over the last month. So I decided to add some island stuff into my life, and I had to change. Okay, I was just doing a lot of Egyptian stuff, but I realized that my genetics is also from the islands, so I had to add some Jamaican type stuff to my hair. You know, island Jamaican, Barbados type stuff to my hair practice. And now I notice it's softer without even having to add a whole bunch of different creams. I'm just putting the argan oil and macadamia in there first. All right, so getting back on track, asking for help. People are glamorizing doing it all by themselves. That's the influence. I'm going to keep it real. That is the influence of Generation X generation. I'm just keeping it real. Generation X was all in I can raise myself type of energy. And it spilled down into the millenniums. Each of our generation has something that is not beneficial to society. That's actually toxic and unhealthy. Generation X was like, At some point when Generation X got grown, it was like, I'm good, I could do this by myself. I don't need fridge anymore. This, that. So it started to spill down into the millennium generation. Now the millennium generation is saying me, myself, and I don't need nobody, whatever. And that's not true. Okay? I had a talk with a family member today, and I said, I would like you to stop trying to push through and by yourself. Okay? I can't read your mind. You're internalizing your feelings about having to push through with no help. But you're not telling me. You're not saying nothing. And I said, I know that you're not saying nothing. I know, because you got pride. The new wealth is giving up the pride and asking for help. Okay? I don't know how this trend started all through YouTube, where people are saying success is about doing it alone, flying alone, and all that. All that, no. Y'all see what happened? It didn't got a lot of people burnout energy. The worst somebody could tell you is no, like for real. Man, y'all, I don't know what happened, but I had put that grease in my hair days ago, and woo, scalp got irritated. Now here's another new kind of wealth, and as people, I'm gonna explain why it's wealth. Adventures. We think we're doing adventures through this internet. We think we are, and we're not. The internet is not giving you no sunshine. The internet is not giving you nutrients of the wild. The internet is not allowing you to connect with people who are directly on your path, who are having adventures, who are in alignment with you. When you're on the internet all the time, you're missing out on the people who don't be on the internet, who's in alignment with you. So the new wealth is putting some time aside every week to live like there is no internet. And it's hard because we've become so codependent on the internet. Hi, everybody. I'm trying to keep track of the time. Hold on, y'all. I got to check the time. I'll be right back. I put this argan oil in my hair. Argan oil. Yeah, I got about 10 minutes left, y'all. Can you let me know when it's 12 o'clock? Did you say 12 o'clock? Thank you. All right. So, yeah, adventures. If you notice, there's a lot of things that fall apart when you don't have adventures. You start to lose other type of wealth. Health wealth. Because when you have adventures, you're motivated to take better care of yourself. You're motivated to be more mindful of your money because you want to have adventures. You're motivated to meet new people in person. So you have this courage that a lot of people don't have who are hooked on the internet. You have a special courage that a lot of the population don't have. When you do adventures offline, that include talking to people, you taking the first step to talk to people. When I was doing adventures where I was going from karaoke to karaoke, and I was like going to different restaurants and trying different foods with friends, and I was like planning, doing spontaneous travel trips. I was in the best shape of my life. All the other wealth just fell in alignment. So when I would sit down and write, I would have ideas. When I would go to clean my home, I was motivated because I had a good time. I woke up naturally in gratitude without even trying to. When you go on adventures, the things that you think is not working for you, you don't see that they're not working for you anymore. You're in a happier vibration, a happier energy. This is why our ancestors would pick 3 days, at least 3 days out of a month in which every person got to go on their own personal adventure, and every week they would go on an adventure, sometimes as a collective. So a bunch of them would go on an adventure weekly, and then monthly each person would go on by themselves to be able to learn how to be courageous. And of course they would, or they might just go with one other person. It would just be them and a second person, a second person. It wouldn't be a third person on their personal adventure, because then the third would be getting in the way of the manifestation of enlightenment they would have. So when they went on their personal adventures, they was only allowed to maybe take one more person. It was only allowed to be 2 people. But weekly they might be like, it might have been like 4 to 6 people on an adventure. So what I'm saying is the new wealth is packing up the kids and the family, and by the end of the week everybody goes on an adventure. It's like no cell phones, no internet, no answering phones while we out. If somebody's in an emergency situation, then they need to say emergency in a text message. We are living like our ancestors, where we are learning survival skills energetically by not being codependent on these phones when we're out. I know people say, well, what if we get in a situation? Then you use your phone. But maybe like one phone, you have the chief person on the trip, ask you why you need to use the phone and monitor why. You can use that type of approach. The point that I'm making is, when we look at people like Bill Gates and everybody say that guy is rich, Bill Gates is doing all of this and always did. He says that he does not allow his kids to run around with phones, that they are using the money for adventures, that they are using his money to experience life, that's what he's always done with his money. So he's not buying things, okay? He doesn't care about things. He is in wealth of living a good life. And you don't have to be rich to live a good life. Like I said, you have to be willing to sacrifice that is not really necessary to give you a good life. Your adventures and experiences will always trump anything you own when it comes to having a good life. We felt like we were having a good life in the 80s, even though we were busting it all around. But it wasn't that we were blind, that we were getting on the bus. The adventures, the fact that we was traveling and seeing life made us feel like life was abundant for us. And then when we would go to create and paint and do art or dance or interpretations of art, we were really good at it. So the new wealth is being able to say, this internet surfing stuff, it's not that abundant like we think it is. Everything that the internet is giving me, I can actually get in the library. They got the writer's market book, publishing book, for you to find publishers. Like literally everything is in the library. Offline library. Traveling to the library is still an adventure. Because it's like traveling into the wilderness and shopping in the wilderness. The fact that people won't even go to the actual physical library, that's how much traveling is underappreciated now. Hi everybody. Whoa, somebody said Oregon. I say Oregon. Oregon, that's my accent. It depends on where you come from. Like roof and rough. That's the way they say it in the islands. That's not the way we say it. I have a Pittsburgh accent. Like when I was at the doctor's the other day, the Nigerian doctor said walking. She said walking, and it's working in my language, but she said walking. Yeah. Somebody said Oregon oil, not Oregon. Are you correcting yourself, huh, Antonella? How about organ oil? How we know that argan oil ain't working with organ oil? Antoinette, I'm picking on Antoinette, y'all. How do we know that argan oil is not organ oil? Everything works on an organ. every oil is for an organ too. We'll talk. I want to find out what organ argan oil is for. I'm gonna find that out. It probably is for the brain, or it's probably for the skin. It's skin and hair organ. I didn't know that skin is still like kind of considered an organ. That's deep. I guess anything that can get anything that can possibly get a be a transplant, it's an organ. The day that we be able to transplant people's consciousness, the consciousness is going to become an organ. They're probably going to classify that as an organ. You ain't make a mistake. You ain't make a mistake. It's writer energy. That word organ came to you by for some reason you said that. You might need to investigate that. I noticed that when I'm like doing writing, Antonella, and I end up typing the wrong word, I'd be like, why did I type this wrong word? You would be amazed how downloads can come as a random word interrupting your tongue and stuff. You might need to check your chakras or something and find out why the hell you said organ. Because I have said words, stumbled over words, and I found out that it was a synchronicity. The angels can literally talk to you, and you can literally speak words while you're saying other stuff. That's called mediumship. That's how you know you're a medium. If you're always saying, if you tend to say wrong words or type wrong words when you were thinking something else, you could be a medium. Because I do that, and I'm a medium. I do that same thing, Antonella. I literally have stopped in conversation and say, why the hell I say that word? I wasn't trying to say that word. There's people that said that the epidemic caused them to do that. I say no. That's people that literally got touched by God during the epidemic. Well, I'm gonna start using argan oil for this organ skin. Okay, y'all gotta get ready to go. I done ran my mouth long enough. Let me check the time. You didn't say 12 o'clock. Okay, I got a few minutes, y'all. Woo! I love that Moroccan oil. I'm gonna go ahead and look up some island recipes, y'all. If y'all watch me all the time, you probably got some spirits from the islands with y'all. I mean, if you watch me all the time on this YouTube channel, you have to hydrate. There's something. There's a place that your soul wanted to go and it didn't get to go. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of. Why am I getting this into it? To like somebody's journey was interrupted. Like somebody was in a train accident in a past life. I just saw a train. Maybe somebody was on their way to the islands, or maybe I was. I saw it just now. I be getting flashes of images when I'm talking to people. So often of their past life and stuff. Shoot. I'm trying to find out. Woo, my hair feels. I love the softness. All that time I was sitting on this Moroccan oil and argan oil. I remember buying this intuitively. I heard get that when I was shopping. Now I know why. I just put it in my my basket. I didn't know why the angels told me to get that. But now I know. Okay. I got too much earth energy. Too much earth. I need something to soften me up. Soften me. I need this. I need some island stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and look up the Jamaican products. I know Cardi B keep on coming up in my news feed, so I think she's a synchronicity. Dad, I ain't know the argan oil. I didn't know the Moroccan oil was this powerful. Praise the Most High for the island stuff. Woo, child. Oh, it just rescued my hair. Praise God. I almost cut all the hair off, y'all. And something told me go look in the basket. What you looking for? Oh, you want the tray? You can sit it all on the floor. Ain't gotta be no specific place. I know you're an organizer. You don't like to just sit things just anywhere. That's your energy. But that's okay. You can sit it anywhere. Okay, y'all, my head on out. I got this workshop to get to. I'll get back on in a little bit, y'all, when I do the next process of my hair. Bye, everybody. Have a good day. Somebody said Haitian oil. Let me go get me some Haitian oil. Woo, y'all. Thank you for the tips. Keep them coming. Where my island people at? Where y'all at? Okay, where y'all sunny water people at? All right, if you'd like to send donations, you can send donations to my Cash App at Money Sign Coach V Hunter. Thank you very much, y'all. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day, Antonella, and bye, loving